What's yet the Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. What's yet the Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. What's yet the Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. What's yet the Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9.
Nits FM
The Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. What's yet the Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. The Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. The Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. The Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9.
Nit FM Neo.
The Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. The Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9.
And then you bring your more kwaba at the band Nit 100.9. Your friend Jumedi said Torchlight. Na and you bring Yenina Yakwe Numa so. Ebia kwa do fie bi enam kwan mu. Oba nkran na empata mu so to say traffic no aya na ache. Edru aye peak hours na traffic na ache. Eti ya ka say wutie me ewo kaa mu. Drobe ni oso abiem. Manfo a egu kaa nim say commercial vehicle a munyina mu tie dia ekoso. Ye kan say ye mo akwaba. Se wachi mo afide na dia to 100.9. Ye baba bedi o man mu komo. Ye baba dwendwen ye ho. Ni ya hwe se dia o man no eko. Enne 1st July the year 2025. Enne da Ghana ye gani ye Republican status. Na edi kan pa no. 65 years. 65 years ni a Ghana ye gani ye Republican status. Edi kan kra. Enne ye da ye di see ho say ye national prayer and thanksgiving service. Ekoso ewo the forecourt of the State House. And my penny for akudo bebre kwa na Christopher ne kwa ye de. Ene penny for akukudam and the Parliament House. Ebra honorable Kwamena Minta Kando. Oko Parliament House no. Na parliamentarians ewo ho 29. Parliamentarians in 29 years o madwani o but obi akobo mpae. Why na mpae? Na parliamentarians do na ekwa akobo mpae. Ejumedi course. Wo meye nkremofo no so no. Nkremofo de no so ekoso. ewo ye National Mosque ewo na kremofo de no so ekọ so a ni nyina mo no ye man panyin his excellency John Dramani Mahama odi animu ema ye dwumadie ahodue ekọ so ewo Ghana ha enti wo hwe mensini na mensina agodo na no obia celebrate mensini agodo na obia observe yes prayer session way and Thanksgiving service ebi a obedu bia to say mensini agodo no komo observe pa and hono abai kra chempanyimfo ewo hono DCEs and MMDCEC MMDCEC womo enedi animu a womo hwe se dwumadi na bekoso ewo mo mpata mahodo mensini ahodo mo na ye hu se dia eko na so far enoma mo eko sen enoma mo tesen edemaw se wo hwe eya mamuo no so se dia eko na eto sen edemaw obecha onim se ye form wo amafo ka se form wo de se medical educate ya anti ekwa de ya bere ho because onim se form wo window se biemie no 1st and 15th every month eto hwa fu a window na akosoro kakra nya wan wasa akosoro because wo hwa world market na barrel no akosoro barrel na akosoro ekoya ekodu somewhere 64 na ba be hite somewhere 72 na dey automatically no ade window ni bia ebe kosoro iti akosoro eso kakra and so far info analytics womo survey a womo ye fa eye current administration ho no be abusumi nsia ntamuni no Ghana for ohamu chichemu edioson womo say aban no eko in the right direction it is say normal ekoyie ewa aban ni mo eye info analytics womo ena womo de eye survey eye Musa Alhaji Musa Dankwa ene na pamfo womo de survey womo de babetu udwa it is say ni nyina no aye nkomodie ewo yemai mo na one pin so ato abama na ekosen wo MP omra se bedwani na wo keka tesen and the titru eye first time ese no wo ma wo keka etesen wo MP ato abama no na wo keka etesen wo mpesua no so eti eno so da na ne me baba bedi nkomo bi nkoma be baba bedi no eye aban adwuma yefuo bi a ekoba say chief of staff ede directives eba beto ho memo di free na so ye beto udwa say wo ya aban adwuma ye ni na say ye fa wa aban adwuma no mu eye after 7th December say wo do adwuma no to wo na mpanyifo bo akire hwe na wo ye nhwehwemu ansa na so mbesa afa umpo a na wo mafa efse sensem we ba beto udwa no kwaye nsem bebre ekoye nsem bebre kire say na wutumi hu say yes ade a ha dwen ye ka say abusumi siachi adwuma efuoi eda so tifie emu a kirefo womo a affect womo eye womo a womo wo ya pomede na so ye no na wo hwa kirefo ekura na womo no mubi ene mate say ene Ghana Education Service sermon meetings womo ni kirefo ni bi because achechefo no na womo appointment letters no appointment letters a November appointment letters November enye sa December deadline e babitu dwa no na woman na adwuma GRA Bank of Ghana any other government institutions and then be be eba betwetwen komo wa ha ye baba be di komo na ebisa say so far said directives in the buy no saying na etie directives in the buy no saying na etie nti eno nso ewo ho a ye behwe na yetimi edi ho komo pa na yetimi ebisem ewo ehase nti ene say adwumayefo no womba beka ye ho wa ha ye ne labor consultant nso ebedi ho komo na ya frɛ no de ebisa ne say sa directives in the buy and after 6 months say one more no mutina fie because nipa ye ken they are over thousands because achechefo no nko akra the last time one more ba me has say no there were over 2,000 wo share GRA ne senate say nipa be 700 Senate nipa 700 na mate se wo ye affected a wo nyina ti fie. Wo share Ghana Revenue Authority nipa be 250 Ghana Revenue Authority. Enti asam ne ye ka no enya ade a eya asem wo nya se bia nipa ba ko mienu bi eye nipa wo modoso ye a significantly no ese etimu hu se aban no etu anamon said the chief of staff kan ye na as at the time the chief of staff kra kan na asoafo no ebi ma se asoafo na ba enti regularization process ben no ma fama hu se genuinely because a bed ben wo say genuinely obi apply for adwuma na ya fa no na later ye beka son continue fie ese mo follow me nyina munim se me I am the person I am na me so say obi adwuma bebo no be so kra say genuinely ya fa obi wafa kwan tenene ne so na ye dia fa na adwuma ho hia se be madi pana continue fie ho hia se ye be madi pana continue fie. So I have the belief say regularization process bin po na ese ekoso a sa process na ese etimi koso ntem ye na emeyetimi hu eye ensem no epo mesebre na ekokoba se adwumayefo no bekoso atena fie na raise issues enti ene wo ba ye bebisa questions no wo so wo appointment letters ni nyina na ese ye gihwem na ye mu se ebrebe na omunya appointment na what happened process is being because counting about over 200 people, 700 people was snaked. Bank of Ghana there na yete so woma revert. Bank of Ghana there so na ka yete say affect nipa be 100. And that form, you see, it is such decisions because one of those decisions in it in MPP for opposition, you know. Which banking sector MPP one more kwanya according to me opinion. Why am first with the collapse of banking sector no? It was a wrongful decision. Because you were mind or just serious private sector no na wo kwa unye here mo a. O mind the better say a kabi crop on a private sector and do o mind na go be declare as a bad debt no ma sign upper stimulus packages. Normally aboa sat private sector no. It is one of the wrongful decisions. IMPP abandoned take here. Yejina ya kan ha say. Tabeni ya kan ni pebi ni ya adwe. But sawone ya adwe a Ghana for dodo na eto abane de omo ti ho. Woma ye din na omo hwew. Woma ye din na omo hwew. Womo nkasa. The silent majority on kasa. But 4 years in so a be punish you. You will be severely punished. Eti when it done and no be as we are by now was one. Now we take such decisions, sir. It is a we are ye. So we are by now was now take such decisions, sir. Now as I say, we ye a ye. Ewo yes sad decisions in the home. Because hey idea moi so home. Enti no idea be a critical issue and then no ye betina say na yetimi edi ho komo because say aban wokona e ba say fine e bia na enokre obi wo ho ayamfa na adwuma no mu kwantene na eso eniti e ba ne sa na send the unemployment there wutimi fa kwati kwan so say ya for wadwuma but reasonably say me figures available to me say fan say yes net na nipa 700 ebetimi abase 700 ni nyina wo mu nyina illegal ni yefa wo ma na so we a reasonable person na say sabio me can say so esen wo wan hwa o kana obi akwakwagi wan we body but say wo dwe nwu yi a obi nwu say there be say nipa 1 2 3 bi nipa be 10 bi reasonably we be say oh safo no ebia yamfa omo adwuma no kwampa so but ebia na for say ebia GRA Ghana Revenue Authority na nipa be 200 sa 200 ni nyina no ye betimi aka say wo mo nyina no yamfa kwan papa so na efa o madwuma am say kwani dia eba ne sa na twetwe aso kakra o hye akyerɛkyerɛfo a mo ba me hen na wo mo dodo eye 2679 2679. So somebody would ask, say, ebesi den na akyerɛkyerɛfo ebi kura no akɔ wo munwuma mu dada wo. Ebi akɔ munwuma mu dada. Nipa no fane so okonongo. Ye postu no de ne kokoto eye mehame. Akwa dan wa hya ase akyira de. Eti akoba say, be all of a sudden, afe akwa sa banya sesa. It has been a directive. Maybe it is a directive no ora Julius Debra de baye no. Said ya yehuno ne men yeso se bia sampo na nadwe beye no. Se bia sabio Ghana for mabuna na Ghana for adwumayefo wo mo entina fie but kwanya agencies, departments, the ministries ebia kwa mo fa so a wo mo so implemented the directive no. Me imagine me hu ni say woman no kra no ye ni ma chen honorable Julius Debra because the entia make us say we are many abra make can say yeah I want for an ye can say say ya no ye kan kra ye etia baby o sebe mo na boja mo pamutumi na na ye ka de tenetene but obi wa akira nipa no ofo say ye ka some ne sa keke of which Eba betina nka bibia sa keko. For instance, wo sha kyerɛkyerɛfo no wo mu nyina wo appointment letters obi anu anane de kra ye 15th November. The list na ye 8th November. It automatically no so wo share honorable Julius Debra the directives na just a woman they don't even fall within that specified category. Not just a woman follow within. You see, GRA for adwumayefo ne other institutions here, one ma better na menu amenu ombedi nkomo. One so ye behwe one de na ahwe one so kwa one fa so a processes no, one fa mu a they were employed. Say no a blanket okay, ya fa adwuma after 7 December for tenafie na wonhu fit. Say Sanfo ne ye mfa omu biema me de madwe mo no na kaban no enye bold okay mo ye mfa mo biem na nipa na hu say meti hoi masa join unemployed unemployment reader no masa join ne say ekoye but so be sa for ma say regularization exercise b say ye validation say ye verification any of the word the ehia ne say shin ni nyina no dia ye pa ne se safo ne bi on be ye adwuma because they be an say they make no den ya say wa uti a uti o dey say ho na say you were the 3 days kra na say uti a just look at it see you were the 3 days me radio life since 2004 my course suspension for 1 week suspension ko anya 7 na me di boni no because na me ye head of programs and na ekoba say your computer is no hard drive is mu na yira the computer so a whole head of programs one with technical man matena na obi ababedua computer hard drive suspended me 1 week it is 1 week me am hu say wo ye adwuma na wo telefia wo de ehwe covid wo de ye mfa covid ye mfa to covid ba ye ekoba say adwuma ye fo ni bi say o mo telefie no wa wo hwe say the course so enti adwuma sem ba adwuma sem na we shouldn't joke with it. And to say you joke with it. And it's ne ye share Southway na ye no medin komo na ye bisa omo. Say ebia saying na empanifo de no mate de afi omo ho. Kwan a wo mo recruitment processes na fa so. Ene said ye tie. Say what has been the way out na kwan ben so enso na ye hwe say ye benya feedback na ye de free eye aban ne mo ntem say when nyina na yesema enanwumre ye baba bedi ho nkomo ewo neat 100.9 so uko Facebook dwumadie no air live Facebook no dwumadie no air live But for some reasons, your cameras no be and your juman to the never mind. Say what Facebook next year. A idea will be home a year or better a year sound and said ya and one may call. Na on so I drink be I would to her. Your becking kind na ye the amount we need 100.9. It's a menoka say dear mene a jumay for you beer directed from the chief of staff affected woman. Ne no akwa kwezi wo mu hu mo fit ye no mo eba bedin komo it's more Richmond nana ya e wa ha me wo e dey the fedans anade what fedaus fedaus it's when you to fedaus and so wa ha and Kofi Ken so e wa ha ye no mo eba bedi enkomo and then you bring our torchlight jumedi so need 100.9. Okay, Richmond, you want to bet to say?
Yeah.
Maybe I will call there.
Namiadom. You go to survive. Say you're dead, but you go to survive.
Then some go to survive.
You go to survive.
Okay.
You go to share my even though say you near process, you go to survive. No go to my scan to go kaka. Intina you be aba bed down. You say yeah. Boy, I know my audience now. Eja.
Yeah, one more so my car train on. Okay, Fedaus. Fedaus. It's saying.
What were you?
The baby aboko. Rich now we are doing
Hey. Some will be say dead you. See now, Jerry. Me juma be bia. Juma minya ya me ena aban. The current government say you move okay your offer.
Okay.
Without any reason. It was just a directive from the chief of staff.
Oh, but so can reason was a chief of staff. Oh, my reason, Kakra.
And then, okay, a revocation letter on my idea. The reason was like.
Oh, revocation letter.
Yes. Revocation letter, and the only thing stated.
Actually, your microphone here. A revocation letter, remember. Nah, make kind not mention. It's a appointment, not a institution, Ben and now come.
Ghana Revenue Authority.
Now, Ghana Revenue Authority.
So,
okay. Enti ekọ never say revocation no. Ekọ buy. So
okay. Over Mama Kunya there, I can even give you the chronology of events.
Yes, mama unu anoma na kwa ban wie. Na Kofi Ken so we don wakai me guy bi na friend Kofi Ken. Na as I say cry Kofi wo say Germany okay. Kofi ati say
Eja Yamiadom.
Also appointment you revoke on.
Eja Baba he dia na chese me so me ka. Ai. Ye hwe ye gu abonten no. Na me so say ye bie punu no bia ma me. Say me so me ka abonten ni bi. Na me so me ka abonten ni bi.
Okay. Na ma mention say free Richmond. Richmond. After the directives and if we chief of staff for by Honorable Julius Debra, what happened? Sequentially, no saying na normal course.
You did come back. I was saying each hour what you for need the mom. Somewhere last year, 2024 September. Proud to that, no. Nah, me say after school, me I made it to me so me GRA me juma ho. Me Bank of Ghana me juma ho. Me GMP me juma ho. Me some institutions I was interested in it. So clearly what I did was I catch a one saying this is periodically me drop application letters for her. Send a bear na me ya dum na some more frame ya. Ma call for interview. Na nyame na sa ya dum Mama me offer letter Neja. I can say rather me that you brought my unemployment situation to an end. Until some around September more no. Me had the same thing with GRA and a friend for aptitude test. In the senior overshare me will copy of even the aptitude test to her. If time will permit her with your leave as well, make me issue copy of the aptitude test to her. Make me that I share for and I it's for and I if later I will publish a grammar evidence of it because yaba idea eja ye hu na ehye ye bre your family is so bre. Some of us are even breadwinners at home to be sincere with you, we are breadwinners at home. We bring revocation way. Some of our members got hospitalized. Nyame nkwa na ya adom say ya antise owewu because your platform ay nyina ya woso. Ayi didi ye ho nkomo nzi enim. The ACBA omo de to ma ye hu. Enti somewhere around September me GR refer for aptitude test. Recruitment process na kasakata GR any KPMG and a and first phase of it was aptitude test. Until documents were to show that you take a test until all pass here while be who score then are for the next phase. So perhaps if an American can so bema between actually until who I do here wait for the aptitude test first one in here. If I can wait to take a shot of it now wow come. The first one
what happened. Now, one more now say time, Ben, because there was a deadline. Now, more follow within that deadline, the chief of staff, everybody.
Yes. Scope now, chief of staff, the might say this is the scope. Obia umbiano, you nullify an appointment, you encounter because you your offer before 7 December. You starting in September.
Before 7.
Yes, you offer into the paper and the documents, your appointment letter and the copy required and medamano. Until ubia the last one, the bone. We move back with you. No Canada by 3rd.
Okay, where your 3rd December.
Yes, Ebumunyi on the 2nd. Once a recruitment is a process, and yeah, one day. Intenya they will be having the same day.
Okay.
Now first day I'm afraid for aptitude test. No, only your name badges. Until be a September, maybe call 15th, obi call 20th, obi call 1st, obi call the whole of the month of September. Only the aptitude test. Until result in the ballot, no, Ebumunyi man unqualified. So you will who our max. We have sample of
our one qualifier.
Yes, that's the one qualifier. The one qualifier because the test was based on certain areas. Mathematics, English. It was just a normal aptitude test. Criteria and then after that test, no, the next thing was interview, face-to-face interview. And also, it's one invitation. But maybe one invitation for interview. Yes, table down. So once we say they want to time I am.
Until we enter 20th November. Date in song.
Exactly.
And our year November 18th.
That's the sponsor of our committee for at date. No one say any until dates in the down for no. So no say time we not call for the interview. After the interview, so the whole of November, some of the interviews upon interview and also in badges as well. After November interview, then they started issuing offer letters. Into expanding from the latter part of November through to December.
Okay.
Entinebia, I see Messi Cindy Paco who need in that way. Or no, dear, onya the 3rd, which is certainly before 7 December.
Okay.
Now, ACA, no, you so you be reporting on the 18th, letter, no, and reporting on the same 18th of December. In the 18th December, officially, you say start Juma. Per the letter given to us, now say you Juma. Inti ebi no mukwe twa flight tickets abenya copy of it in here because ebi move enough na they are nyina also relocate into we in flight ticket in here we share date now about 18 flight ticket date also 18 no twa flight tickets now about 1,400 plus.
Yeah,
ebi mukwa during the process because ade a KPMG ni GR na recruitment nti no we were at the beck and call of them omo fra na eba say any recruitment no ebi move enough into also mo ba relocate wa ebi be rent 6 months 3 months, Boombeda hotels because it do be a medicals in Mekawina, bones in a coy. Until also stay Accra or no, also we stay our crap because weeks na didn't eka. Offer letter by some around February. I think if not Vars Day or a day after Vars Day. 13th, a day after Vars. Okay, 13th, right? One, I'm saying you revoke your offer. Which is very bad. Me say I've got heartbroken. Lot of us on the platform. If I need engine to say in your email no directly revocation. For example, like your dorsal kakra. Your dorsal. According to GRA Nangasana figures no. It was mentioned and say almost a little over 200.
A little over 200.
Yes.
What they per run up figure crana?
Yes.
Say 200.
Yes, 200.
Ghana Revenue Authority.
Yes.
Okay. And since February, no, what has happened?
Go. Since February, personally, what has happened on my end here, I hope any struggle upon struggles because we thought, say, our protracted period of unemployment has been brought to an end. I mean, I do Juma. Let's say, do you know, say, very okay. In the struggle, they also run up they be di kra ohu do ti boom sa sina area school nye ne be area schools as far back as 2018 2016 na they are there and only to realize when you juma one day asari will keep you ma yeah make me say the whole family go happy for the fact say bia for a long time I been telling you juma then only to turn out say asari will keep offer no and imagine the pain it will bring to the family the frustration that the bear family do you say no pe bia also ya o show mama ni mama o show tete wa do wa ko university na papa ade achi o hwe nim say ya especially say we ka say be wa ekoko nti be jibinum I mean it's quite bad
Fedaus maybe say anti after a year revocation one more revoking appointment you know what happened is one my friend mo engage baby mo sectors na mo ye adwuma no e de no maka kire mo we be person me hu sequence of events e de no maka kire
me da sene akwenye wa ma
page on so ma
me da sene akwenye ya wa ma me first of all no yanka say be call GRE ye call GRE and ye throw petition e dey call GRE enti petition ni I dey call GRE ni mpacho ni
and you mo revoke your appointment
mpacho you wait me have petition endorse and the bro endorse ya throw petition me twa me nwa ba na no but endorse nti na be person me dey copies bro ni ha hu bi no
because social way
government for ya throw petition to 24 yeah you 24 the king Edibiako king of Ghana, the Ghana state is of the Ghana check. Edibiako presidency, Edibiako vice president, Edibiako Jubilee House, Ankasa, Edibiako Labor Commission.
Now, much draw petitioning because say na Monty Bibiana. And I say you've been told you're providing feedback via Mamwa, and when you're happy with the feedback.
You draw petition because we based it on the fact that one. You can't chief of staff directives no one because you your office in now before 7 December.
Okay.
2 so your process it was legitimate and it meet the standard because every recruitment process aptitude test interview na daddy if you medicals in your near cry so we were just laying those things to them for them to realize so they went through the process and they got their offers and yet as people are being misinformed, say, after the election and people did that,
political appointments.
And we don't want them to
play. Say, Mumu be no appointment letters and were backdated.
So into anyone into the evidence, bro. Into what share after the test starting in September, what shows say they could backdate such a person's offer from September. And you name him say recruitment and one day near the final a process because of administrative process in until we share we are up to test starting September. It be muka year omode in November no. How can this be backdated? And yes one is and say person with the politics because what the politics are it is our livelihoods now the politics. Your families and all the politics. Our future and all the politics. We don't want it that way. It's like two elephants fighting. One the grass is what suffers. We don't want to become victims of this thing. Into can say yes, there on Mampeni, and necessary National Thanksgiving Day. Your eminence, Munina, Kadna, and Chief Imam United. Yes, sir. In fact, yes, Romunina. Say, Meshe, no man, no marine state here because you're Dawson. And we are all struggling.
Colleagues, Meteses, Senate, nominated people were affected. I was Senate nominated.
Senate, National Lottery Authority.
National Lottery. NLA.
NIA. Ghana Gas. Now, the NIA interesting is senior.
Ghana Portland Harbor.
Any Bank of Ghana for under the same ministry. One mysterious, say they were never revoked. They were still there. Nancy and say Omaba bon Sinkakra. And then probationary, to probation, then your man qualified probation. And Numpokrano. Yes, say, Omasa Kurim. You're checking so Omasa Ribbon Swampa. We are all falling at the same sector minister. It's what is happening. Your co sector minister Honsa, you or on Shayang, oh, friend, it has all be fat, no, I cannot drink a cratch, and they say, you're a year one, Bibisa, and so, what we say, as some person caught Senono, so ɔte wo din kɔ onim sɛ bia wode sika bi na ɛɛba ɔman no wokɔka adwuma asɛm pɛ wɔ sɛ o yɛ mu nyinaa mo ka ho na kyɛ sɛ wɔ free line no so but ɛnte saa it is not like that so my question is
mind yes. Sector minister
yes we have yes we have that is the American
and okay so mu nyinaa mo ka ho
me ankasa my friend da no return me call no anadwo 11 it's a return call no ɛna obusam so ɛhɛ te sɛn ɛna me so ɛyɛ kasa na ɔsio ti ade na wo frɛ ɛna afɛ he was very polite in the beginning no senior edru baby na afɛ me say me kyerɛkyerɛ ne nsɛm no ɛpɛ sɛ ɔte asɛ sɛ yɛn GRA for no yɛn ka adeɛ no who were recruited before the elections no obie na no apɛ na kyerɛ sɛ adane politics no oh yɛhwehwɛ mu no mo yɛ affected it no mo mfa ne saa ɛna agya asa ne bu yɛ fu bi na agya me twa so yɛ pedin me yɛ mɛn ne den me ka de say who say enimunya hye bi ka na onu ka timi di friend me back but me say e bia de nti of friend say bia no ka say bia contract bi na ba Ghana ha na bibi sa say enye sorry to say in some way na nka me dey ba it no ka take call no that kind of thing it is fine no problem but the person e carrying na say we are not part of these processes me am it hey senior me medicals na me call ho ahomache 430 or 37 because GRA no money hospital Bank of Ghana for they were lucky to have the bank hospital. Yes, yeah. It's almost there. Whilst we were doing our medicals, they were also doing their medicals. Our fact shows that we were doing it concurrently. That is fine, no problem. Yes, sir. Now, unfortunately for us, no, you need civilians, any non-civilians, and they call ye medicals, no. Me say I'm my X-ray or 37, my ECG or 37, and all these things. No, I can't go and do it on my own unless GRA themselves give me the go ahead. Say go and see, assume see or 37. Not only then unguided through the process. And we had the liaison officer who was working between GRA and the 37 military hospital with the soldiers. Now, Fadia, Akoye say, Mr. Homachin and sorrow. Now, they and say, ne binum fitakwa or baba wunichi. Nisika ni wunibag because Ebia or Chinano or so or Sanko. Now, the air being cranny say, Uber Kohonum and Neno. A son says civilians, no civilians are taking over the place in Nintendo. Yes, say, oh, and Eddie, you bear a blood pressure pay, you bear height, you bear a chest weight, you bear weight, not moon coffee. Na obi a yakọ for how much for no 8:30 then do come and 8:30 na so that from eba abonten be hwe yen na o ma san your line na yakoye sa anyama 3 year market basic medicals ye bi ya san kaye si abonten say ye nim wie mu nko ye hia ma ye be san frem na afa people are just devastated me cry dey say oja me meeting cry ha now what about me nua bi onu no free etri onim de onko ye ne ho this was san fa car e san call back na ote ho a na san frem after 2 days say ene ye san ba it no ye san shadow ye ho ni na eyeka na na ebem obi ni ba bi te asem nsi ye bebre na asan ko ba bi on beko de obetumi atu kwan na so ene Archbishop Duncan Williams o preach wo National Thanksgiving asi o kan bi e catch my attention pa o say now I'm going to read it o say I look forward to a Ghana where our sons and daughters no longer queue at embassies for visits in search of greener pastures but only to travel for vacations asem o kan yi enti ase ba e wo pan say so on mine no anye ye amaye mebru no enhu so mfaso a you will go and queue for visits and you travel abroad. Why should I get a job and you revoke it just because just say another party has come, another administration has come? Consider the fact to say yes, starting process na enye that is the sincere truth.
Okay. Abusia yane adwumayefo bi a womo enya wab appointment directed from the chief of staff. And I'm so much say womutifie nti se mekan krata na Ghana Revenue Authority for the mamona. Womo say revocation of appointment. We write in reference to our offer of appointment made in December 2024. Pursuant to directives received from Chief of Staff in a letter dated 10th February 2025, the offer of appointment has been revoked. Okay, internet just said we need the reason. They only made reference to
the chief of
staff. But I believe say one was one more barbe regularize mo. Ebi no more ever kweti kwans into one be wow ho so no. Obeko na kwa ejuma.
That was in April. And a labor minister no ekaye. No cray oba abontin beka or join news eko benadable channel eko kan the whole thing. Now o kan say omu say nipa 12,000 ye for mo after the elections. Now all kasana me ka say peninsa de obeka say oh ye ba be hwe de omu ye no before the elections. Ni na ye ntin ho hwe. Eya pe na so ma dodge ho sa no ma dodge yaka ya no atum. It's always about omu fa after the elections. What about those that were picked before the elections? Now another reference to say make me want to say Okudeto Ablakwa, he also stood on the Joy platform.
Honorable
Okudeto Ablakwa, he stood on Joy platform. And Oka say, oh, no the oba ne sector honum. Oh, who say ebinum ye form within this time frame. Now process so the recruitment process so there. And yet a 1 day wonder, a check akra. It's no who say there was clearance for X number of people, but now you found Y number of people. But no cry then and on cross presidency say, oh, president. Momunkom sa ubene den momunkom ni die momunkom eti no se mutumi ye bi emankrofobia na yanso ye de na nansen kra ye te say yes Ghana Armed Forces omo ana ye ne omo duna Red Park ye friend Red Park 37 ho me kai pa omumpo kra no ye say they are calling them back to come back in. What about GRA, Ghana Revenue Authority?
Okay. 80 said the combination say across board, right?
Across board.
Regardless of baby you do akwa share.
Yes.
Let's just say across board. Na mo petition mo receive feedback be e dey free me akodo amode call.
Senior. Yawo.
Yes.
Yawo petitions in the actual bebre. The trauma sector minister, which is finance minister, no, Honorable Atoforsen. Ya trauma GRA impo. Ama Commissioner General.
Chief Imam.
Aje. Ya trauma Chief Imam.
I don't know how to respond.
Ya trauma Vice President. Ya trauma President. Ya trauma petition so how come Labor Minister. No about radio so beka so. Yeah, audit is in 1 week time, no, on free and back. No. Even almost 4 months after that statement, no. Ya trauma on the paper be o 2-4 ya trauma no. Ya trauma government chair. Wa o copy say dey go in petition so. Na o kan petition ya church na. Enye say ye ni obi twetwe bibi dabi. There can say directive chief of staff my yen can 1. 2 so your offer you starting from September. Also de bia de veteran say oh we mu after election ye farm. Also the actual document e go no. The time I attitude, the time I interview, the time I offer buy. Clearly, you know, say in your office before 7 December 2024. Inti petition actually, the be some say secure more intervention based on these things. Now, sometimes, I was so disappointed. Feedback.
Feedback. Free Chief Imam ho.
Yeah.
Okay, so purposes of this discussion, me reading my for I say, it's in the name of Allah, most beneficent, most merciful. Way or the command chief of staff, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll say, Excellency, humble plea for intervention for the reinstatement of the GRA appointees. With Islamic words of peace, love, and fraternity, I personally extend my sincere greetings to you by saying Salam Alaikum, peace be unto you. First and foremost, let me take this opportunity to thank you for the service you are rendering to our nation, Ghana. With due respect to your high office, I write to inform you that the attached petition was sent to me by the GRA appointees who are appealing for reinstatement. I hope you will take this matter your immediate attention while I'm thanking you in advance. May Allah Almighty guide and protect you and give you the vision to steer the affairs of your office. Amen. It's a way a Sheikh Dr. Usman Nuhu Sharubutu,
National Chief Imam.
National Chief Imam on Wakasana or the Krata way.
So
the no a plead on more
attached to our document.
Yeah, it's all the more petition and so I say.
Yes.
And now on the call and I'm petition
Vice.
And when so if
Vice President
of office of the President, Vice President Secretariat.
Yes.
On also say intina one more the reply Abramo. Humble petition for the Vice President's intervention in the reinstatement of Ghana Revenue Authority appointees. We refer to your letter dated 19th March 2025 on the above subject. The Vice President of the Republic has duly noted the content of the letter and has forwarded it to the newly established committee constituted to investigate these occurrences within the civil and local government services for its consideration and appropriate action. Please accept the Vice President's best wishes. Into which her Vice President Chief of Staff, Alexander Segbefia, Office of the Vice President, on no signing and on the Bremo.
Yes.
It was Labor, your friend is saying, Minister, no, Joka, no, that is all.
That is all.
Initiative, BBA.
That is
Debbie.
all. And
Debbie.
there's something I want to say.
Uh-huh.
And him said these are labor-related issues. Into they call Labor Commission.
What they call Labor
Yes.
Commission.
So unkomo handle
Labor
my-
Commission for one call, what was saying?
The omo here ni say omo si yemfa body of evidence and bra. Into yema all members, almost 200 now AK. A print some offer letters from interview aptitude to offer invocation. And the documents another cow. Yeah, on employee. A car is also boy you. Aside all the costs we incur, the car in ya throughout process in nano. The mama print when you na and so they buy. And they call Labor Commission. And they told us that with their mediation process, the first thing is to write to GRA to respond to this.
When him, I'll come back to you. My main comment so now, me arrange it with a labor consultant. Your friend, your watch yadom, watch it amponsa. Me no penny pardon. You no any commerce way. Basically, any team I resolve free home. Watch yadom amponsa. Me bajo ma and say, hey, Kafra, answer that me bomb on the show no. Majo. That we will go there. Yes, Nyanko Pardon Boko, Nyamiado. Right. And you may, and I yane a year, a Jumaya form of free Ghana Revenue Authority, numbering about 200. A year, Chief of Staff Directive said by, says halfway were affected. But, Semisha a year, when appointment letters are Edam anymore. Now, share processes now. One more share processes Nankasa, September 2004. And a baby 2024. Yes, September 2024. And I will share one more appointment letters Nankasa na. It was dated 3rd December 2024. Appointment letter one more a producer a day actually. It doesn't mean say such people we share directive from the chief of staff and now one can be now.
Many of me me share a tip for
Okay, tip for those.
Na near home is over kaya. Yeah, this uncle pain.
Yeah.
Na near me kaya and say the chief of staff on the say or recall normal review, normal way there. Because me the need problem be our home. Because review no better time a process no start here, anytime I end here. And whether say it was purely a politically motivated exercise, and I say it was a legally required exercise, backed by institutional need. So, but say you bet me out software. What we need to do is to go back. There's a answer. I will start the process now. Was there a needs assessment, skill set assessment, GRA for 1 year, and it determined self who here the person 200. If that was done there, then it's a review, no review. It puts the whole exercise in good standing. Then say, oh my, from that, you need the answer. Almost fun say politically motivated exercise there. And maybe as is a gun age, and that is my beef. I am here as a labor person. Say your costs are in when there is a change in government. It's immediately I could rule Labor Commission. Get a Labor Commission for in a human. Say, was there a needs assessment to establish, say, they needed the 200, 500, or 100 people? And I hear 200, and you have 200. And as I need here 500, if you need scanty, you have 200. In a baby say, the Bassa there, the chief of staff would have to quickly come back and explain to Ghanaians as to why we are where we are.
Because the enemy say ayana recruitment exercise be ebekoswa. We share enkrate mu a woman advertise na amanfo ahwe ansa woma apply. Enti we share proud to advertisement no. One more ebesa needs assessment no before woman advertise. In terms say ekono so say it me hwe wana.
It was a micro. I've moved a step back. Because so when you need assessment, now establish your personal specification near the idea. What do you mean advert?
What do you mean advert? Exactly. Yes.
You know, I moved a step back. This is what was the basic establishing set in Yenipa. Any skill set analysis is a point. Yenipa 200. But yen to me for 200 million and TB 500. And then Yenipa 500. It will funny 200. If that was done, yeah. Now and also in a premise say advert me at the identity, then I think you cannot blame the employees. You have to blame the system for not doing due diligence and making them, so frustrated.
Okay. Now, what share a directives from Chief of Staff? Say issues when the first group I church of 4 day be crown so by. One more so as one become my 7 because one more car at the end your boy actually be waiting me taking back 3 weeks. Now the person who said documentations now producer mameno. A year valid na. So I have to take my time to validate those documents. And son, I'm a drama betina radio, so now you'll be ayaka. Because we'll be a team for BBA massacre. I church of way the crowd, for instance. One appointment letters, no. The onya ne dear late crano. 8th November. 8th November 2024. Let's say we're passing through all the processes.
All the processes. Yeah.
And then second appointment letter. It's not just a directives every chief of staff for buy, no. And kaho kra. It's a baby say kra na Ghana Education Service. One mona ko chimudia cover 8th November. 8th November no kra no so no. The omodi share mo kra say obia wonya wo staff idea uni payroll so no. Also we affected.
Look.
Meanwhile, obi appointment letter is September. It is September yenim say obi anu a yenyina ya ko school ni bia won timi wie your college of education. Now we call classroom our first month was aka waketia. E be crazy da. E be easy da.
Make I just me na me director.
Yeah.
First month me sanka me pay. Second month, third month, na me koye didi oho.
Yes.
I don't know director.
That's right. So say akoba say
who's been for pay no, any basis for denying people employment.
But sana Ghana Education Service for instance, one so cry yeah.
It's not get my expectation is say nka chief of staff be correct e no. Oh, I say go back. Because we know there, now, you suspect to say a politically motivated recruitment, you know, and who has some near. Then you want some nature. So, I think we have to go back. They make me labor commissioner, and I will charge the chief of staff to come out and clear the air. So, you have some nature.
Okay.
It is in his court. Chief of staff
Obe clear. Because Nipa ye can Senate my records HSA about 700. Ghana ports and harbors GRA 4D a little over 200. HSA 4D and me came. If I pim swana a movie dear woman regularize it. It for now mean to me updated the number, but they were 2,679. Yes, 2,679.
And I just say you don't need them. You need them. See, what are we doing to ourselves? Because of politics, Oh, Enyani. Maybe feel that some more Labor Commission.
Yes, also on my Labor Commission.
I think the pressure should be mounted.
Now, what's the Labor Commission, Pacho? Rich, Moko Labor Commission, what's it almost say?
Okay, so Pacho, first, my me nchia yija online so ejabwache Pacho GR4, even though I don't work there, but then we strongly believe they did the need assessment. How? Because yenya clearance 2023-2024 to recruit 1,500 and they did 800 with the first batch and into 700 say 1,500 into 800 with the first batch 2023-2024 into second batch almost starting in. And even if you read the supplementary budget finance minister, previous finance minister Ebekaye Krano or capture biom or reinstate biom say 700 na kano. That is what they are about to do in July. So internet make reference to this date for you. They be all searching on Google. So prior to that, and there was 1,500 at 2023. The 700 na kano. And no who advertisement on and I'm sure yensu yoko pay a be call from them for aptitudes and that in that order. So need assessment they clearly shows that they did it. Because if there's no need you won't go for clearance.
It's okay.
Okay. Nti Labor Commission the area ni say ye tro komom. So we the area labor nsemi de na mo say omutu of say dey a ye mfa a petition bra no my process ye go to name printing documents nyina as body of evidence. Nti ye nyina almost 200. You have to find monies and print all this, some from the north, some from the south, also be but now the area umpa ni say I was say omu nyina almost sign, you can't sign for anybody.
Yeah.
So the one north no also back be sign. The other south also a babe sign. The other west also a babe sign. Be a babe sign. And they call Labor Commission. They wrote to GRE and I want a copy of it. Say indeed, they've written to GRE. And on my copy, no, say oh, I try my GRE into the expense to hear from GRE. And per their processes, no, it should be around 3 weeks.
And you Labor Commission.
Patron, the patron. Now me no can say a pound crowd.
3 weeks in a pound.
We wrote to them almost as like 2 months ago as them. A pound cry. Yeah, share records. You best am my offer. I'm ready if time permitting now. I fear from so 2 months up and what is the next line of action? Almost a man respond there. They will give it to their commissioners. Almost 5 major commissioners. They will take it up from the legal aspect. So they will give it to them. They will give it to them.
Review issues.
Exactly. And I know so no almost my time period. You fear from come pick call. Your call cry mon person be ready. I'm just sending more.
Okay. All right. 18 just so far this has been the sequence of events. Na yeka bi obi to baby when we need to the polarization of this country politically. Into obi to baby kura no kan but we are talking about 200 people. Because reasonably 200 people say a farmer. Sadia Woody can you know regularization process be or and I said yeah.
Marjorie, even if it is one person, it is on what is unfair, it's unfair. And in a labor environment, you don't treat people like that. What I say, because Ubia what go through the process, you have fun na wasati ejuma ebi ejuma kura 2-3 months kura into anika osi ma yiwedi without any cross enye fe enkrese ye omaya ye pedi dim raso because wunya fa nipa wa ejuma mu pa then you establish a legal relationship between nipa kono and ejuma no enti treatment bi adbemani bia must comply with your labor law and our constitution. So, we expose ourselves too much. But maybe the matter says they should continue talking to Labor Commission. Biankasa on my own, but maybe sir, executive secretary, no.
Yeah.
As to what is happening to this case, then I'll give you a feedback.
Okay, right? Okay. I will let them also contact you now.
No problem.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yo, that's an enumeration when you're ready, am I?
Okay.
All right. Yene eye yadom boache amponsa or ye labor consultant. Ono na yene no edin komo. Nti ni nyina ne se eye Ghana Revenue Authority adwuma yefo a yene wo mo ewa hei na eye Honorable Julius Debra Directus eba ye se wa yefo adwuma after 7 December no na wo se nipa no ete se wo de adwuma no to hwansa. Yene no mo so matena ho a wo mo hu de ekọ na nti wo mapema ababedu this level aye no mo edi enkomo wa enti yeah what share the yadom kai your thoughts I think in the order Rich.
Okay, clearly the most important thing is say at least me are responding to ye Jalfrey Yadom Mr. Yadom.
Yeah,
I should say indeed there was clearance. I just say the need in there one pack now when you na kumi ye timishia CSOs binimu na asro so omonfo man to asem na livelihoods are at stake. It is not about MPP NDC.
It's more I'm some man here adwuma for 1 month crisis man.
Yeah, I say commence 18th of December into your report into flight ticket and medical.
Yeah.
But could be the old no flight ticket
the Babylon.
Yes. And I'm in medical.
Yeah.
And no or report here into ultra flight enough eba back thinking so you report 18th and or buy into be stay waka no need to go be rent account because the 18th year that your comments here nobody knew say you been revocation in February into be rent here me say me be rent closer because na we check account and be rent closer for 6 months me bra we say no year 1 year so most of us came to rent you incur costs credit thinking say 18 you never started there say back then wherever we have been posted we just continue from there
until next some nyina mo convey to Accra
exactly
na who baby a won be post to
yes into say eba and eba so a ya ntehwe yeti hot ye bet ye ntehwe de yeti ani say evoke offer no now unofficially you try to reach out to CSOs binimu not too long ago ne who say area Franklin Kujo of Imani or posted about Bank of Ghana then on obisa GRE say GRE or show me him say almost made the same thing as Bank of Ghana after call for back no because for the past 2 months we've been trying to also get to him to speak on this issue because we told him say we are getting tired. We are also Ghanaians. We have families who are looking up to us. Ebimuso were family creditor. And at the area, uti face ya unye juma. Do be dika unu.
Okay.
All
right. Firdaus. So far, also challenges our firm. And why obey? Also challenges our firm near the cause.
Mpacho enkoye kra because me ameti ai me mba 4 me won ma 4
when appointment on the same date na
yeah me nyame de kra 2nd December
okay
me nyame de 2nd December
ebi so November
the latter part of November
okay
yes
Ntina say aye a lot
inti relocation de me de na me nya ye send email na me hu revocation na me ni me kunu ekoto ade e wo ye area no mo enti ye send notification by ya me check ye me ntimi nanti bi ma ye shocked because me want my first say na me kan ye first one no SS second one was GSS enti me nya ye me de me appointment letter ne kire omo say manya ejuma say enti say ne ma mo be fine amai
Aka.
Enti san me rehu ye ama mintimi nante. Enti me twa ojo me ye area no hotel bi wo ho. Ena ekope hotel da ho. Because I couldn't go home.
Wow.
I feel so bad as a mother.
Come on, and the hotel they all have
like I feel so bad as a mother because
but we don't now the go round no. Me I thought be me where you mama me breast na me poor money show na ma ko hotel bi ase. O frame me fa.
I revoke your appointment ah. What da wa? What is
anyway hotel no cry last week I wa ye hu. But send na me ra ho no na me kuka say enye hwe well entifiti ho for more than 2 months me ofie me share them mintimi mpie social event bibia mintimi ko because mintimi busa me say boni be na maye because me a twin brother a lawyer oye adwuma kama na me edru me so na eja menya appointment kakra me sum rehwe me busiafo ama nneɛma ayɛ kama na revoke na mebusa me ho sɛ bɔne bɛɛ na mayɛ.
Okay. All right. It is a say dear baby about Pamako Kodu no. Immediately I just say munni any future plans beyond now apart from say mamenkai this letter. Apart from say NLC National Labour Commission for catch them say one more a better GR reform because this is the letter one more extra the command a year Ghana Revenue Authority. It's where National Labour Commission and command yedi Wamokrata dated 29th April 2025. 29th April 2025 also request for response in the matter of Richmond Nanaya Amono and 46 others versus Ghana Revenue Authority. Find and close copy of a complaint dated 11 April 2025. Lodged with the National Labour Commission as above. We request you to study the complaint and submit your written response in 2 copies with all relevant documents attached. For example, collective agreement or contract of employment within 14 days of receipt of this letter. A copy of your response must be served on the complaint directly or through the commission. Take notes and act accordingly. Dr. Benis A. Welbeck, Acting Executive Secretary for Commission. I had an idea about National Labour Commission. Just say National Labour Commission. They be for years. So some bar. If I buy no one, I'm what you enjoy on That is fact. And yes, sir, your mamma Welbeck appends to you. Me bra ye ofosua samoa wo ho de bia me catch them say I maintain no maybe asio. Sir National Labour Commission asema ente say ya asem de betena ye nhwe na adane asem. Because normally we're very simple. We say no mama 2 weeks let away and 29th. It is 29th April. May abetwam June abetwam. Say July na ya shasi. Also mamu 2 weeks. I can go 1 month. Won't be some. Ya mamu 14 days. And then a response in my na wamu tro bibi brema na mo di ama emranti na go mo so mahu de eko. See? But no response 14 days no makane sa. Yeah, some more. Okay. Higher need 100.9. It's in the title affected workers. Ghana Revenue Authority. Monfre na yembi Samuel. No me say numbers na is 030 2257902. 030 2257902. And now 030 2243540. 030 2243540. Na yenje wadwenkyerɛ na chief imam response in the bay say on the crunch on the date in the year 11th March.
Yes.
Since that time, I know someone from Chief of Staff.
Public Services Commission say a trauma. There are some more kind say government is setting up a committee to look into it, and they'll get back to us when they have developments. Now they cannot. So today they have not gotten that.
Okay. Mamenko aye anhomano so. Beba cho majo e.
Majo.
Odi ani baby akasa free.
Amekasa fanta ma me jeni Jacob mekasa fanta ma.
What's your friend saying?
Jacob.
Yeti o.
Asema mukana. Mekasa ma seta. Da bia me ka wo Ghana ase. Ghana. Obi to wo Ghana anu. O ko school ta o yes school. Ye votu vie. Ye votu 7 December, 2nd December. O ma fo no pejuma. O ye votu na wa gata unimu de Ghana ama. O munum de Ghana. Ye votu vie 2nd December. Wa fo no pejuma. So ko juma. obi bae or see town panu I do no or also or in they say I can topic e Ghana na ye strat na ye kan one.
Okay, mama mfa de odi ho meba cho majo
Jejao.
odi ani ba bia akasa free
Your friend Quam, Mr. Fiviniba.
meba cho fra say pe down so mama wa don.
Your friend Quam, Mr. Fiviniba.
Okay, kwam yetio.
Mr. Cho, I same way this recruitment. I remember say yeah to about Madame for Bifrem. I'm not one of them anyway. Madame for Bifrem no akasem so snake in cocoa board and hifanamepe. I got my brother. You happy to be my friend. We're a party chairman, constituent chairman for almost 2 terms. You couldn't offer me any job. Now that your party has lost election, then you are coming to offer me a job. Also,
Now, what situation are okay? Different from what we are talking about here.
No, what I'm trying to say is it was a scam. Okay, that recruitment now, they backdated the appointment. And it was.
And do you have, hold on, no. Ghana no ye kasa, excuse me to say, we sometimes ye kasa no watara. Mebacho, do you know for a fact, say obi appointment letter, wama backdating nana? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Do you know, say obi appointment letter, wama backdating? Meaning say follow me. I told him say me mentina hanya mejuma kekeo. Before I'll come here, I do a lot of validations. Do you know for a fact, say obi appointment letter? What can say yeto abawie na wo wadan fubi. Wadan fubi no or your recruitment officer. No wa friends we be mo adwuma say adwuma ko de ekra na sabe wadwen wo form. Because you're too about your friends, that
is what some of them
but when they are advertising officially from the outfit, and you were saying, sir, some of them they have backdated. Do you understand what you are saying?
Marjorie.
Yeah.
Marjorie. If I show, I mean, yes, you for a time, okay, Mr. Madrum Dokakra. And because what my friend wanted to do to me. That was what I'm saying. I've worked with the government sector before, and I know all these things. Maybe you have not worked with government before, so you don't know all these things. So I'm speaking from experience.
And yet, Adiana, it was advertised.
Nigeria, the timing was bad. The timing of this recruitment was very, very bad.
Okay, thank you, Midas.
Everybody will always say they don't want to say the truth. It was bad. The timing was bad.
They don't want to say the truth. Now, what's your program here? I have read series of letters, even from the one every National Labour Commission. Now, the National Labour Commission for one more and I come to call ya and one track GRA. You think that you're bogus, you're scam, and the National Labour Commission for how relevant one petition here no much for the Ghana Revenue Authority.
I have an evidence. That's what I'm saying from my point.
Thank you. And your evidence and you're part of the discussions I'm having. Thank you very much. That's it. Mama, next one here. Yes, sir. And council.
Media South Africa, Abosokan, Tentinka Motors. Oh boy, Jumanya Michel ye papa. Marjorie, uni bibi. Me adepa kwaya na medwene ho amenti ase wo omemu kra say. Simple President Biaba afa enipa. Na wo ba so be 24 hours a. Wo be fadi penny bi aka ho. Marjorie, esku for bi awie university e pedwuma ye. How come say wo be pamo wom nyina se omomra fie? So I say, na me adepa kwaya na yemi hu aya na misuro mu amen say. And can you security? Our memo, Abia police, soldier, migration. To me, I'm after Muninara. We are near say Jinipa more than 4,000. Abefi, send pay or Mututo. When the way your bobia, Upra, and that's who. That's all the Bibia security. mochire no mochire san kofu ya pamwom adesa ya ba na abanti ba be fa nkrofo a omo nko training omo hwe baba be him san krofo we mu no omo ba wo dem ni ade a woni ba wo san wo dem nyama nya
okay
so mu nya skillful na omo ko training a ya pamwom no ba jari gana ya yo mu den.
All right. Madam say maming for next caller here. Meba cho me wanjo. Majo eh. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, Mitio.
Marjorie, and you may have some drink out. Na me mo abaso ne adwuma soma odi ma despite media adwuma kuno na meka kire say wo ye nsentro ni bi a o dwen Ghana fon papa ama Ghana magu hu asem ehia ho a da bia o kana asem o show so wo ye wo me be manana mo akụ Marjorie aye meti ebe me won say abanya oba abamu eye campaign say on the 24-hour economy eba na ya fa mabu adwuma mu somewhere December, September, October. Now, Bama, what the way is that a man today?
Men pesa ye be drive sa political sentiment, no. Let's address the issue as it is. One man walk with deeper 200 MPP woman this room, UPP woman, gum woman, OBIB. So I mean pesa ye be use sa political sentiment in the address it. You see?
Yes, sir, Barney said, the Melbourne Equator, and that was my ayabo. A bunny pecker was in your phone, yes, I'm going for you, because only a gonna fool. Only a gonna walk for a woman, dear, a dumb, but more medical, a bonka, if you're high time. If you know more, as soon as a man part of money,
okay. Madam say, Mammy fa yo, now my comment as a Mammy fa way, Meba cho memoajo. With the any baby I can say free.
I have feminine energy, make a free.
Nanaje etio.
Me patrol, ye knew no more. Omo Bajiari, Baba, Omo Yevoki, Omo LTC. And say, Omo Case, may me follow a unipa, Omo Casano, Omo Canoma be brave. And almost provided with evidence. A church say, Omo Juma, Anna, because of free the chief of staff, Eba, almost had the meaning now. Because of news nearby, it says the Labor Commission, so Omobeye thorough investigation. They said it, and now investigation on Moye, it could see saying, and then the question I have that they are Bisa it could see saying, Omoka so be take 2 good weeks at the ISI investigation, says Sanko full way more. Omo pass you through the right procedures. Yes, Obia before Obia Juma, you pass through the right procedures and sign a forward Juma. Many animal more way, they pass through the right procedures. Now, almost one way aptitude test. Omo FAK from baby Omo free at the bar crab interview. Omo pass the interview, no, Yama Obia appointment letter, say, Nipano say ya fan Juma. Enti ada na nipa na adwuma wonye adwuma na echire no because of yakoye adwuma no say akoye political aspect enti ya pamo no now nipa no directive eba and say so wunya after December 7th dia wuntime enye adwuma. That was what the chief of staff at the buy. Now omunya no on 3rd ebinya no on 2nd. So what is the chief of staff there na oye adia fa ho. And even though the GRA in Pennyfonos to a more honor, so a day no omoya found because only panina from 3rd and now you were July, Martin, Nipano person on Cody Day.
All right.
And now when the buy anything and the probably elucidate their lives. And to say, I'm on for who the money. I will plead where the government say on Brem now on intervene was high issue with more. The government interest say and call fire terminate. Or more appointment letters, no, you be free or more.
Okay, Madam say. Thank you, Madam say, and it was over there with the Abama Memfa of Ufrewa. Meba Choma Jo. Hello, Majo. Hello. Bebacho Mitio. Okay. Sorry about that. Majo.
Maji, good evening.
Yes, I tell.
Maji, my man, tell me because there's some better coffee at them.
Why are there so better coffee in terms of Wutie? Yanko.
Follow money, if you do. The American say, I almost have now. About we buy a home or say, yeah, you should me once. And to Muna would train John Mahama, obeying a moment of trouble call, we ever put your mom.
Okay. That's it. Also, me that's it. Mami fa do one. Me bacho me wajo. Yes, I tell.
Yo, me da was a pa me akwanya wo dia maye. Mina, wo share especially GRA appointment no. Na sometimes we see and someone what the main can say government communicators no. I don't more can I na ro. This make us say me a part of the or more the revoking or more GRA. Just started process on 7 September. Then in the one ministry was then of your aptitude test, every interview in for process in Mukama. Before 7 December, and certain appointment, you didn't say in Ghana for. So, Bayan Sakura in Ghana for. What community appointment, without any just reason, okay. Now, so, government communicators, TV so ready so the way cancer no to an hour kuma yawo. 2 DRA current DRA boss now KPMG 80 on was supervise illegality o KPMG more fire di manana no on to mu say KPMG for no it the mo dey fa mu ina aptitude test and interview ni ma kwanya ni na na KPMG for omo ye na and there were big boss. Any pana I supervise say, or no, I dare not share ye, my interview, and then any pana to Ghana. I will see how you use a gun and I am sure if you like, it's a TV. You man, a yawa. Oh, I know. On share me, now on share no Jerry. Na just will be a new apprentice in Assam.
Okay.
Because after 7 December, which is not true.
Okay. Medan say and it was so with you but Mami for last but one. About Majo?
Yeah,
Yet you.
Okay. Your friend me out. Now, return here, yaw. In fact, me a part of that group, you know. When people, it's a very unfortunate development. Some of the misconceptions about some riffraffs being a hand picker or module. Chairman, this is about the most intense recruitment process I have personally been through. KPMG employed a foreign company to make sure say aptitude test, which is Test Gorilla.
Yeah.
Test Gorilla and aptitude test. From there, we went for a panel interview of 5 people. 5 people. And some people from customs, people from KPMG. And funny enough, right now, the commissioner of KPMG, the commissioner of GRA, at those days, on an penny over KPMG. And everybody is a witness to the fact that this was due process, which you went through from August, September up until early December. And they said, you must be able to quite me as we are talking, many a crowd. Many a crowd, beside a family man, me was me woba. Some of us had to resign from a human area, said you only in your pina kaka because the agent here say, Yamia yatum, and near my baby, and my young to me a boy my gun. Nothing that could be and Kabi and Shemi, why as a mona, a farmer, man, uncle. Unia, there were evidence to some people to say Bank of Ghana, Council Munkofia quickly aside from. We are also aware of Foreign Affairs Ministry. Ministers, according to the records, the people were employed before 7 December. And those people are still at post. It's money ban. I said we have for
okay. Medan say. Okay. Ma memfa bako wa. Beba to majo.
Yeah.
Yetio.
Okay. So, let's say it's your phone. We are very frank also. Now, me one of the GRA appointees. Akoba said, "Your latest year revoked." After the meeting, I was studio more canon. As I prepare, you go through process, no. Now here we after the else, we have tried you go through process. The needed labor commissioner Kasa, getting penny for Akasa, Sankam Baba more. Now come as the results, anything in your grammar, you do her. I have an yes, penny for. And I was about to say, now, oh, yeah, no, so again, and then so, yeah, again, I'm for, yeah, again, I'm a yesterday. So my moi, yes, sir, pass on my moi. Then I was, and I'm saying, I'm so dead.
Okay. What's your that's a pa? As if I had a calls on the yedi, so we be out to be free, yeah. Yeah, that's it. More kind. In fact, yes, sir, I'm so winning, you know. Yes, sir, your chief of staff. Some statement no the better one. Kwakwa say acquire blank at their mass some of the institutions. Actually, of way they are making one more pass it through the hell because answer no more pass it through all the usual processes are almost fair mono. Directives see by you know. The one across the Ghana Education Service forecast say. Okay, mo fa no ma naimra. Wo mo kokodru eye wo mo regional directorates ni mo a. Wo mo se monko na mo san kofa eye mo graduation program hwan mo san kofa nka ho. Eti twa se nipa no etu kwan from Kumasi. Ababedu Accra, ji o san ko back. Anaji o so ofuro bi no de be mane no. Ofuro bi no de be mane no so energy o san da. As I say a lot of inconveniences. Eti chief of staff directives, fair enough. But the kwakwa say the implementation process, some of the institutions are abusing the implementation process of the directives. As I say, yeshe na yeshe ni yema daroma. Anamon two bi wo ho a et say it be to the first sense me. Yaka yake GR reform no a little over 200. Makacha Senate 700. Ebeti makasa lipa 700. Omo nyina ya obi frɛ sɛ me pɛ adwuma o ne yɛsɛ sɛ nipa 700. Na sa ne yɛfɛ adwuma. Sɛ be yɛnom kra yɛyɛ human resource sɛ ne yɛfɛ adwuma. Sɛ nipa 700. Nti I think ɛho na mo to bi wɔ sɛ yɛtu no as early as possible. Okay, Rich. And then abeka dey chat so na me nyam kwan. Ana yama Fadaus.
Me pacho. The abeka enumre we say. Yes, President John Mahama. Any Vice President Professor Nana Jane Upoku Agyeman. Oyo Oba. Owo Tima. So any Chief Justice say yes, mo say omu reinstate ye. Ne yenkoye ejuma. Ne yesu yenti nye bi enhwe ye mano mo. Yes, mo ara. De ebeka no.
Okay. Yeah, that's say yaw.
Eja. Me de asem no asefem na de metumi aka ne say me meti hey me throw me fido loan na me de fido loan for cracker about 5,000 cedis plus. Ni na ne say minim say menya chance e be titi make aso. Ene fido loan for the automatic machine na frɛ me. Enche ne ye be chime ano no but Nyankopon ti ye ncheme. Na Mr. President John Mahama ene Her Excellency Vice President any your Minister of Finance, any your Commissioner General, Anthony Sapon, out of KPMG, Ababeshe, GR Resources, any your HR, Ama Reindorf, say yes, Romo. You name the entire or mood a revoked appointment. We were before the elections, we started the process early, and we don't have to be revoked, Madam Wase.
Also, Madam Sir. Richmond. Yeah.
Monsieur, whom say a fair president, but penny for Croman so. Chief Imam, Otum Garmante, it be a petition actually, Yadaba, it be known for we knew here. Messo Yeroma, for we knew by home. Now responding to your petition, intervene in my into your fair Chief Imam beam, your fair Otum your fair Garmante. esromo so we die ya hene no esromo so omani nko asem we ho maye no mo ne president ndi hu nkomo no mo mfre na ye bre
Yedamasi na nwumre yi se mba beka but subsequently the be follow ups ni yahwe said ya echo na any feedback via na etimi especially with the National Labour Commission krano say you call ni bisa say ever since we democrat and ko how far nti yebede ho komo yedasi nwumre se mba kan on so abusan ya ne aye Ghana Revenue Authority adwuma yefo a wom appointments ye revoke no woman ye no mo din komo ni nyina no chief of staff ne directives or the babetu udwa eno energy for sure so a nipa a little over 200 revoke appointments they say woman who fit because woman take positive results be subsequently ne be follow ups ni ahwe afa because Bank of Ghana for the say at say omasan from nurse for one more reverte nurse for one more reverte woman nyina Ghana adwumayefo so they say aha nti e say yetimi ho teachers EDA said America yes colleges of education for EB one more regularize o mawie the validation be as one from ria o ma from awie o ma reinstate bi ene the account so I think ye ne be de akire na de wo mu bi ane ye ho ye de ama yetiefo NIT 100.9 me wa kwama foforo bi wo ho me ne nana ya asane ta no e ba betena se me ba
cool, fresh and trendy with a new look. Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. Satisfies you right just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Ain't gotta do it alone. Specialized makes you glow. Anytime. Natural mineral water. Feel different. Think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hey, catch it. Listen in here. And you ma beto to dia me baba no hwade no. Hwem so betumi a. Hey, asew. Hey, now beka. Ya jon to ma me ensa duku portmanteau. This way chocolate drink. Na kan wo hwe afibian so beri ni waware ni a. This way chocolate drink. Na kan sia. Oh, asew. Udan kwanu tumu ho. Me be mo anu so hye kura dia ka ho. Uhade e wapi ho. Ukasa batete. Eda fom ho. This way chocolate drink.
Catch up a baba worry.
Aso,
ye fear say this way chocolate drink, ya sorry, no pan on the enum. Ye be chef free genome no snack. Ye nya ho ho anu ye de serve wo mo. Ye did we any a pebibia bogu ya de so a. This way chocolate drink in enum. And this way no ti anu a, he se kire wom, koko wom, prick wom, bibia wom, ade wo hia ni so se.
This way chocolate drink.
De wo hia ani so se.
FDA ahwe se adwede nkratoe mo agya tum se eye.
Utie oha extra punk no. NIT FM nio.
Ya no me bibrime. Yenya ko fatu yesuo. Etu esi be mabo. Okunkunim ko fe gina ne so akora padi kokwe hu ededa mana ekire no. Ne. Adeshiamra kroma dansidi fo mehwe kasemu kira wanwade esumu apai mo hire nyakwa pie awonwasem nie we de abc pen ne. NIT FM yamamwa kwaba
de NIT 100.9 jumede ye friend is there Torchlight na yene eye said American no ya sanita no ewa ye mbon komo we tew e komo we ni nyina ne fa eye national lottery send KG on sensema akoso ne de ne de akira na so far said ya eno ama e kofa edien na ebema eye KG wo mu issue aba beda ne issue a You be prefer so KGL. Omo say. Another be American some ne ba. Oh, we so watching say ya. You be back at on assume I don't know the names. Of which and yes, and they say you dey run your mind no. Yes, so be run your mind is idea. And just say o man na dey be say dan butu. Ya sale tan obajo. Eze.
Mark, mejo so.
Ebi akoy yo.
Ya me enkwane ne shent.
Yeah.
You go so afamudi.
That's right. Yeah, they are na ya. KGL matters arising and then national lotteries. Ekwa say KGL matter no akwa ye bibia wo ho a. Eka nipa bi nko a ya abrogate omo contract. Ya abrogate so anim de betimi afiri maba. Omo nya adwuma yi omo form ani bukata. Why a political analyst? Where the insemiyachi? Would you change some that to say Mark,
Madasi, I want to believe my production team, I want to believe, say, Ukropono, you are more versed in the matters more than.
Yeah. Because my follow documentation, sir. About beto yenim yes. But who's another idea? Can you answer sometimes, you know? Protecting a Ghanaian business.
Mark,
Ghanaian business and yeah, and to say so. We have to protect it. Onion yeah, na yeah, the affair baby to say differ.
Mark, you see, the rate at which and the way at which Ghana, they are no a good indigenous businesses. No? So I'm sure and this is from data. A bit near to the point going forward, no. Private sector in a bit collapse. In the sense, the sika and a sika. Na not only KGL and NLA alone, but there have been series of Nkrofua. The other persecution and now say political witch hunting. Edi egu omu number and also omu businesses ene. Ubekai apia menkamo apino soap.
Yeah.
And now is it something mattress?
Boache mattress.
Mattress. Now ubeba a friend say some crofwe bakukra me business partner and also the partner. The Siam.
Siam.
Tata Brewery.
Tata Brewery, yeah.
Minya, and until recently, about 9 years ago, Ibrahim Mahama, I say, Ninuya assigned bauxite dealer Mano into your home some Fidiamun to my other site hall. You could see Nina say a man and yet Nina be tremu, you see what the cabin more and some munyan. Nkrofo mojuma gupa because of politics. Mark, and I can tell you on authority say there are Nkrofo in their thousands, if not millions. Say almost share juman kesiasi, but to me and shasi for fear of being witch hunted. Yenuya Magdan, Nensem Ebaye. Yenuya Raymond Acha, Nensem Baye, and it was alleged say Magdan and home boom. And also that is trade fair site. You green in a guye. Instead of going through the due process to know where the person went wrong. Now say bet me to suit the rules and regulations of the country. Mark, Nina Naya Bogu, ye yansa yenko judungu, and now say yen wish hunting, and now say yenkas with taxes, we reckon the point, the BIA no. Say on one casana buying crab munos and sembi, the taxes are stand to be corrected. Nkrofo bebre no bibi bape na yesa ko didimu yakọ dukurukum say o taxes my nti untua o taxes won file o taxes ni nyina na mark ubehu no na nipa no out of frustration na odi go na dwuma anase wodi agya adwuma no yokora. Now the issue of the KGL and NLA saga, you see, say a buy for bar it is only right say contract ahorow bi mu wɔ hɔ a state institutions ɛde ama private sector no a ɛsɛ sɛ yɛhwɛ sɛ contract no ɛkɔ ne sɛn what did they follow due process ne ho normal na yɛhu sɛ yɛkɔ yɛn nim no yɛbɛkorɔkorɔ na ma na kɔsi sɛn nti KGL ɛne NLA assign contract contract na ɔmo assign no they are on various platforms KGL on one side and then other platforms also on the other side ɔmo operate through the same lottery system ɔmo ɛgye ɔmo 6% at the end of every month or so or annually. Now it has come to light in a few last month, let's say last month to this month. Say the condemnation of KGL, NLA, or more contract. Maybe I listened to it until I got someone to brief me about what is happening. I'm saying, but if say KGL, when NLA assign contract, not in the contract, in Crawford fee say is saying na ifimuba annually, and as is saying ifimuba every day, which of course is impossible because NEET FM say now 1,000 people TA. It is not automatic say the same 1,000 BT.
It varies, yeah.
In fact, the CR cry we more program the Crawford they have tuned off. Probably because of me, and I said probably also can say, oh, your uncle Moby Dino, Obi so tuning you up so you can't always get it right, say, at every point in time. Yebenya Ebia 2,000 buses flying on Kumasi Road every day. It is impossible. When you use that as an analysis, you can strike the average. Now the one day, and I say one period earnings, and I say revenue at the judge. How much the company makes and how much they are giving to the national institution. Not just a mark. Oh, yeah, atwa. Now, KGL NLA omo contract. Me nka sesa aban for abai. Ema omo nkum.
Yeah.
Enko hwehwem said city. What it is that from what I have learned, nipa or no crowd or drafty aban dada no. Efa no more drafty agreement. That is the Solicitor General or so. Whatever it is. No. All the things that the person did, about way by, they have not thrown away or sacked the
almost saying you so no.
Yes, they have not disowned the services of the Solicitor General. Or no one almost employing one or more code through as to how the contract and indeed or more board the crowd. I think it is last week that they met also, if my memory serves me right. In the time of the day who need costing now board the crowd informing more or more trans can say. The issues under consideration, a hat a fee say a beer, a touchima, into young streamline. But on the spur of moment, KGL deal a bad. KGL a cron for KGL a boo abaya faso. Evidence that you have, there are appropriate quarters. I would say evidence. Mbeko akochirame who say, I am pass a KGL ne NLA contract and your papa. Now, if one who say revenue ne how many platforms now almost shares our revenue? Because I mean they know say about 3 or 4 different companies are almost kanwa omunya omo friend saying 6% annually when the revenues comes in. Inti say abandon no so give the evidence to the appropriate quarters. Let them analyze, especially say a body. Put up your argument, and then your findings. Now they are what two money say. Media mahuni, and of course the KGL if they have to meet KGL together with NLF, they have to meet the new border. All these things documentation will come out. Revenues that accrue within a month, a day, or whatever, or annually.
Yeah.
How much is paid to NLF? You know, be back the trouble. Until if they feel say KGL did not a bad, and you streamline the best streamline. Because it will be proper to have a company as a private sector or no annual no tria without any fail than say Ubama operators from Wababe operating now at the end of the day the revenue that is needed by the state is not forthcoming. You understand? And for me, this issue we must have a closure to it. Now you're investigating as to whether the other people on the other side are saying say KGL is duping the state. per the monies they make a day. We more can say, Omunya is it 10 million?
I'm saying 10 million a day.
A day. Mark, this.
And normally kakrebi na bread the state.
Possible. It did American
national load.
In Crawford Muti Hano, people might have even tuned off. So now 1,000 a year or her. Actually, you will not get that.
The same numbers.
It is all the science calculations that you will go wrong. And you see, the way we lash at indigenous companies. Now, at the end of the day, Sanke, foreign companies in the area probably will not even visit the issue. Because Mufi said, and I said, we have that mindset said, Bruni in the area, and a foreign in the area, into the oye biano, a pepe, a croje. It doesn't work that way. I am of the view, say, the issue of say beer. I remember I listened to your station and Chris Dugan.
Chris, head of corporate affairs.
Yes,
NLA.
if I were him, I would refrain from personal attacks because it appears he was referring to one of my friends. And almost gang up baby and almost so all these things will not help. If you need information, go to the outfit. Get the necessary information. In fact, I wanted to get the information, documentation, but I am being told say those documentation there, and they may so through the
RTI, don't trigger RTI.
Because I wanted to, I thought somebody could freely give it to me. Not mean before I comment and as I put out my analysis. But I feel say look, and found a buyer or the buyer. There are even as we speak, MPP for. And I say, yeah, employer doing the MPP time. And that's some MPP for. They are still at post, most of them. Until further notice, no, they will still be there. And it will not be right to say, if the company is doing the right thing, why don't you allow the company to work for the benefit of the state? And I say, if the company is doing something that you feel that maybe they are shortchanging the nation, and I said the state institution, it is only right for the new board to sit down with the companies and then they trash out all the differences to ensure that we have a win-win situation rather than say we persecute and I say we label a particular private individual say a bon con. Of course, me try and say private sector being a by institution took a sebina or more yebina say in benefit na say ba hon onya meka say yen konesa there be. It is only right. See, they put the appropriate measures in place. The due processes will be followed. Due diligence, everything. Now, because see, China, what do? They put upon themselves, say, within a year or 10 years, we want to create so and so melodious. Yeah. Mark, I can assure you, sir, there are people who have so much money. And during the times that the dollar was between 15, 14 there, but they were buying and hoarding. Instead of opening up businesses, no. They were buying and hoarding. They say, I don't like that budget 10 point something. They've lost somehow. Bisa won't say, I didn't know more first can share businesses. Because all the share money. Your baby didn't you yes kind of way. And now how do you with taxes? Indeed, Anka Obi be share you must support Ghana.
And so your waivers be tax waivers.
But we give the waiving to Abrofuno and as a foreigners no more. Or more be so no master company didn't. No more say Ajisa same 10 years waivers or whatever it is now Omodi operating at the detriment of the indigenous person who would have, as it were, opened a company. Now, if I were to say an example, Sharaf Mahama. And organize boxing. You want to say Ghana boxing? It's almost dead. I don't remember the last time I sat up in the night and me share box or Ghana or boxing. I don't remember. So if somebody comes in and the person wants to lift Ghana boxing, you better also do an MPP person, or say who gave him the money to organize that?
All because of your man penny bank.
Say state money. My brother, what are you talking about? Or see Debbie. Meanwhile, as I sit here, I'm in the known of the person who funded that promotion to bring Anthony Joshua to Ghana. And probably the Mahama family didn't contribute up to even $10,000 or $20,000. Probably did because somebody single-handedly said, I will fund it. There are businessmen in this country who are ready to help one way or the other to uplift our games and anything that somebody does. Look at Ibrahim Mahama. Nkrofo oboa omo philanthropic year justice oye. Look at Owura Kwame Despa. Oye sa ko pimpempen so afedi nkrofo no kropo a o che wa omoade no. Public nimbe gangi again say wo de nkukọ che na nkukọ na o de che no ABCD nti and o de che. And ojai wonti ni baby. Say o de che krafo nti. Of course woye, but that adoye no a ebi a atontoma nkukọ mo mbeje na oye ne dada no. Nkrofo nsem mo kan ye nti no. Na ama na ba mo ndi mark KGL NL issue no yenta se ne se bese panic ni na haba na nipa no a it is alleged say ono no ye KGL pen no se wonnim ni yiye me say I wish say me no wait here na ka woni no, you understand but I am speaking because me ankasa me business partner me ne ye wo office wo cantonment Mark, and yes, sometimes when I'm speaking with passion and Crawford Timasi, 2019, I know more closely Yajuma down, more good Yajuma completely. Now you see that particular business partner, well, MPP knew, big time MPP, but on the mainstream one, or behind the scene and of fund. You understand? Omu Yajuma investment company, omu guno completely. But being so ananka metumi akobo me ho sese adanse me so na me di me quick akra ho First Africa Savings and Loans and also PAM. And look, I share the views and the pains of Nkrofo omo aluzu omo adwuma. Yeah. But you see, we must also ensure say yankoye bibi a bema public person no looking so humongous at the time e be a nipa no all free abem. Because man, to stay in the house for many years, you are not on salary and yet easy. You understand? Say, and na ugu KGL Juma. Be in the known, say, and Crawford be and omoko trafia, omone omoyere nemo omumba, and that's omono omobusia for they are going to suffer as a result of a beer one no would be hipu in some egun so. You understand? Nti Mark, as for me, I am only looking out for due process to be followed. And
say bibi na enko yia. Yebe we say board says the NLA board aba.
Yes.
Good. Inti NLA board no ebehwe. Contract and say no subjected to 5 years renewal.
Yes.
And well, so say every 5 years biya no to somebody no mu renew. And yes say 5 years na INDO.
Yes. And you see, NLA is the regulator, standard corrected. And as a regulator, no, on one kasa to me a metaphor, ne and kasa, on also or venture into the lottery system.
Lottery system, yeah.
Let's say some of these telcos or more your promotion, or make us staff no more count because they are just the regulators.
Yeah.
If you take a NPA, or more regulators of these licenses and etc. So MPA so kasa ono so wo mu 2 oil.
Yeah. One more filling stations.
I mean duplicity of roles. You understand? Until all regulators and you have the industry players who come to the regulator and say this is what we can offer. They sit down and say look, esika KGL Otria ama NL no. So what it here because from what I'm hearing no, a cut the whole every day because almost says a winnings no. A 50% is reserved for payment of winnings. Other staff, 50% no. And your chairman other platforms between 6% and I think 25% or whatever it is. Their apportionment. It is 50% no. What I am being told is there be a kadaho because Mark, a Juman woman is Abeka and Crawford a track into Yesika eba. There are days 50% now what you are to honor. Lot of Nankophobia deal within a week. No, it could clear everything a cabe daho. Until there's always a deficit. But the other platforms they don't care. What they care to know is that.
So no, the when you know what to
percentage mommy. You understand? Until some of the things now or mine. I have been in the so-called political analytics system for some time. Me who normal different. I'm learning and I'm seeing so many things being different. Say, look, and yet no man in a political and as a party partisan politics. Because a gun any be a Jumana to me fan for. Nasa was who could yes, can crop on or be a Jumana. Once I was found Crawford or more year Juma Ede Boagano. Let's now sit down and say, it's kind of Korea. So near Pessia yo. In the form of say, who bet 3 years so and so, Nkakra crack of him say, a beer, size kind of we are better. I'm only using it for an example. I don't condone with TV, etc. But the fact is that Obi Ebwa ama Omano Enyesika. Nkofo ya fa omojuma. Omo ye juma. Now a few group of people can sit on radio, can sit on TV, or can write something. Just before
why do you say collapse your Jumana?
Exactly. And in most cases, there are people who have interest in that particular
until
they set up their own system, attack.
And no crowd and for change of government to home. So I buy a crown put up as a baby. You see some people say, where are you? Also, the man to me.
You understand? Mark, young to your boss. May say you have him normal way because the preambles I gave you examples of how I'm Maya, Nkofwa, ya tata, or Moma, or Moja, or Mojuma Guho, Nkofwa, Mojuma Gu because of politics. Nkofwa so most capable, but they don't want to venture into anything. They do not want to venture into anything. The Omo here say Omo no Omo no Omo Yeremo enjoy holidays now Omoko. Obi here can obey to me and be our money be. Share mo program I call. Look at the farms, some of them, especially the NDC fraternity, farms that they have gone into. Large scale farms. Ura Kando, Ura Sedunketia, John Mahama. I hear said there are some politicians or move for whatever it is, let's even assume without admitting. Say BS can be a crack of room. And no more they expand or more yes. At the end of the day, no. They did not invest it in Kazakhstan. They invested it in Ghana or more for more year Juma. Even though I don't condone, say, be a politician or US cannot or the Koye in Puntu Juma be whatever it is. They have invested in Ghana. And no should probably say, you better punishing the pana, how you better go about it. But you don't go around because somebody has an interest in KGL, that particular sector, no, or person or Jinti, and so. Let me send my people to go and attack him, destroy him. You don't kill a star to become a star. And you know that we can, if you want to join the system, go and sit down with them, negotiate you to enter. Because they have about 3 or 4 platforms. Almost they are operating on different levels. They take their 6%. Maybe I can say, I have enough to partake in this deal. And I say in this business. It means 2% be. And I say, 1% in fee, the other ones, no farmer, and so may enter system. I think it will be fair. Now, can you say we have a lot of people who have the money and they want to, come into the gaming system, a bit boy or mining, But I feel sorry for industry players.
Said you normal call.
Yes, I feel sorry for industry players. Who require despite. I know, say, no one can the punk crab out the car say because but he has stood firm. What to me are standing I'm making sure say the business is ever cost regardless of the because tax in same beer cotton town. I on one casa na ban a abamu at the cotton town. Why? Because Okasa. You understand? And Mark a hard
and now when him say a board and abano a warrior national lotteries. Say a bear to avoid a summer go do a cosono. A bill prudent say board and KG or betterness. One more your contract anymore. One more review no ama. One more fair be better about it. Don't you think so? A bear extinguish it.
We need to know. You see, it is very critical at this moment, because for what I know, what they are putting out, they say KGL is any more than NLA. And yet no correct. Per the figures,
and the figures available.
And the calculations, percentages are already called Adam for honor. And yet no correct. But you see, since it has become a topical issue, it is very critical, say, whatever it is that they arrive at, regards the board meeting, na say omo betutu no ma yie as I say public no so omo feed
with the relevant information
so that we don't become so ignorant about the things that are happening na nipa ba kun bi abema information bi na soldier by the time I be twa ho yi ade ne enye no kro no na che say wadwuma no ya ne pasa nkrofo hu mo hwe wadwuma no tutu I was saying here yesterday about Ura Kwame Despite. The brand he has built, Ghana for GD so much. Until people don't mind say banks say good, so and so. You better despite
best point.
GD say no matter what.
You
understand? Until we need to build such businessmen, and we can build them. But how to start is the problem. When you shall say yes, we're from. Na tama wudi wo hia ande obi anka so akwaji ohia
ande yem frem
obi anka so akwaji hia dru na nyame boa wo a wututu wanamon yie ana obi kura wo na wututu wanamon wie na asisi anoma ekoso kakra no wo toka ba ko pese hey akwa no wa frem wunya bie we pe ese hey akwa no wa frem nti people are afraid to open up to as it were even partner to do business. People are afraid to invest to do businesses and can Ghana for akra mo ha no your population here and come back to me a boy and pa and come back to me into large scale farms a whole. But at the end of the day, no, trouble said the man. The oil you man on or we out. Now, Crofonso, the mature, yes. So, what were you, Norma? It's a pressure upon pressure. Exactly. I can assure you, say, NDC bay before some Meko, Obimaka say, come on, no power, no. Now we say or not, you don't want the cover. And so and so. You back Casasa at the end of the day, Nani Pano, the person or ye, Eddie two on one Casana home poma, a big cancrophone, not acquire watching. And for me, I want to pray, say, at a point in time, I don't know how long it takes to get the document when you ignite the RCI. Otherwise, that's the process I want
to trigger.
Yes, because I want to know what is happening.
Yeah.
Because
a contract.
Yes, lottery, a small business.
A very huge business.
Huge papa.
Huge business. Now they are not for more years. A huge business.
A huge papa.
Involve millions of Ghana cities.
Probably is one of the biggest. I mean, a war on member. And Kwame Nkrumah wasn't wrong. I didn't wear any broche baby. The number one. Oh yeah. Number one. Sanka ya crockery in a year. It is being done all over the world. My business partner are making. Your company no invested $60,000 in something that is close to number one. A platform be a trade also. The link is between Dubai, UK, etc. And they invested $60,000. And that investment now revenue revenue. I didn't say Udi are grown so you baby wafas. They can swindle you, but you need to get the right people. Or more, when him say you are dealing with them, when him or more office, so and so. But platform trading, and Ghana for businessmen like a they know. And some of them will be say, most of them are trading on certain platforms that you don't know. And he said, it's a be back or money through a certain individual. And I say, FSI is for. Or more, and I say, some of the things. Sometimes say, yeah, because Nani partner has just invested about $10,000 on a platform B. That will be a Dubai. Now, boom, man. To say the nana one, we invest here in a revenue, no, a profit, no, and boom, boom, boom. And there's so many of those platforms across the globe. Now, and if you know inside power, many of them are trading on platforms. And they say, my bet, it will me do. There are big platforms for whole. Now, say, Ura Kwame Despite Nima, say Father Dixon Nima. Oh, Mama can't tell Mark Jerry say,
you are closer.
Yes,
closer to the door.
In the end, Namuko. Yes, your friends, is the go business club. From say.
Executive club.
You almost know. You might think, now go for a day no more no Mark. Deals to cost of power, member. Deals to, I'm telling you for a fact. Deals to cost. There are so many platforms. What you want office is cool. What the two?
And
1 month.
A far. 1 month. A pim is what the horse will be whiskey. No, go for a pyramid.
but say yam boa was not a far it's carry about boom and I had to have my bet in kitty now so on beje taxi every year so mark we should dig deep into KGL and NLA saga now you unearth the mystery surrounding the KGL deal and NLA now whatever it is that is a miss within no board now about for no omo making sure say omo be hye ne yie se bibisa ho dia omo be hye ne yie na yema adwuma no enye na benefit state no because we nipa ba ku free ho a the mainstream person na why adwuma no sa wonim nani so no we ni free ho dia another person ba wo be more or less a restart but say enam dodo ansem kwan omo wo ho na so obi so person venture into it omo ba no so no be trust say me so I can play this role this is my investment all the two table no so omo hwe na say you are viable na ye nyina omo nyina mo adwen na chesanka yam konkon but the me hu the mark
it's really disturbing.
I'm telling you nyina wo bie bojo crop na chese wo ye mo hyehyw enti wo so bia obeboa na ye hwe se benya document
it's true because I say yetimi hunu mu yie said ye ho nsema ba beto dwa aye kan de say yetimi hunu mu yie na emu say enoma ben na wo eye documentation sinimo emeye kase ente say yema omoto adwuma no so some people are calling say you revoke your appointment how say you revoke appointment and say for what reason implications ben and the one who say be revoke appointment because ye kan but the ye de ne hu ne documentation bi aken kan no enye sa na etie
and then
woni pa bi o makasa tia
Kenya has never defaulted in paying the state institution
the state institution
never defaulted so what is the hula baloo about say abrogate contract no na abrogate when you farmer no so contract no bad let's sit down and streamline it say as I see a surcharge KGL crop for a beer bad deal be na say board ne be ya so be it but say beka say guno one time because they make 10 million Ghana cedis a day which is never feasible. They could even make more than that a day or less, far less than that a day. That 10 million there, I can never accept the fact that it will be static. So I say every day we'll make it 10 million. Any other, the system is on autopilot. No, it can't be. A company that has never defaulted in paying the state institution, so payment, no, I must say the co-consolidated fund,
yeah.
Yes, that's what into at least, and also discuss a bread. Omano who abrogate after the best sign for just a business there will be a follow period even activities will cease for some time you know a na say by into mark mona ya mona na into pay documents ni bi na ya this week you trigger out this time I imagine say companies are whole mem higher private companies omo ye adwuma boa omano ye tu omo so sa I will investigate na me hu because
ye hu de bom
anyasa ye be ye ho abro so
ye beti ye ne no na just say ya twetwa ho awe
apino mu ene nkrofo pa rollers buy na breso na yes so ye basa asankenne omo operate a ankangana konanim but because of witch hunting enviness greed ne ho I hate you ne sa no manoma no na ye de gu obi adwuma obi okropa onye ahwi but no hu ye obi ahi for one reason or the other so then atwempran bi one na atwen girl bi hompran so whatever it is can assistant crofo monko tiny I mean Mark it's not helping the country at all. Let's follow the China system where they categorically say you perceive a building businessmen and in doing so no they give them the necessary incentives. The government creates the conducive environment for them. Loans and so will form a hackropa loans rate, interest rate, and then astronomy. People are trying their best to invest, to open up the private sector to help the people. But you are not to make the collapse will be and most of them they've died out of it. Because Nipanan can be I don't know when you collapse and I think it's not helping.
Okay. Medan same. How you need 100.9 na menena na ya nkoma ye di na fa keji on say sama ya tete especially abe say na emunsem we don't get certain things so normally we ha yenti ho ase enti na ho be hia say ye be discuss na say ye be trigger no me na yetimi hu contract na de na ewom then ye say de bi ye be sorry oh we onye obu crofo obu oman no di oman ni sika no ye say so ho ye be keka sensem na without any concrete evidence ne aka ne sa ne de ko the assumptions kwa na adwuma ona na the assumptions ne adwuma assumptions perceptions they adwin ye wu ay akwa we kai ye tete radio si cry o ti we na fu ye ma ye kan se mi kro bi betre we mo fu ma na mo de mo tete ona mo keka de o be so ye ti biscuit ni su biscuit ni kwa de ebio Masa to say 350% ni bi because masa we have to yeah
my name sir you see you know money you and you say nanka say ye radio ye padia anka meka say all radio communicators anka meka in the sense say
why you say
me na to say full time and na me into 2 programs every day or 3 programs I mean sometimes within the week. Saturdays crowd that make me am ba. You understand? And he said
yes, Saturdays I do so.
If you be a team na me team wala you 2 men. I mean no me sure no o UK up to date or na on TS say at appointment to me to am rent. Na caretaker no wo boase. And also ma ye hu no TV so na baby TV no o mutua o boka na etua no mpe so betua. Ordinary ma me ne buy na no so obey no who say pampa who social media. And I say, for what you are doing, you are telling me you cannot pay my rent this month. You can't pay. If it was to be in UK, you would have been a millionaire by now.
That's
you have
right.
the money, you don't want to pay. Man, to me, we are kete. You understand? And even today, sometimes almost say you see perception. We say you baha, momaye. Sikabi otherwise anka da bia ye ba ha be de sa no o mo adwen yon dodo na enkanka ye relatives no mo increase no and do you hu TV so o fa ye
why you say peche
o fa ye every day request also wa woni you understand and that perception no that kanka and I mean
it's really bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. Okay. Now, me that say so, but KJ or there be follow up. Ni atwe say beti menya document na etime ready na ye hu enoma egwom. Na ya bo Ghana fo amane na afiake anu atum. Say enya na enye eye nso ane ato aso na afi ye move forward. Na am mind etime akonka. Na me that say you be so bye. All right, okay. High need 100.9. Jumedi ya friend the Torchlight Tuesday's edition na yede ebrewei elia wote GRA adwumayefo na revoke appointment nka and abene na ya senator no political analyst so ye betwe the National Lotteries and KGL Matters said ye de akire ne ede na ye betumi ayede afa ho na ye hu de abom say eye say enye na omamu nyina we can take a decision ye hu say na tie especially National Lotteries wo mo board no na ye hu say de tie ha na na ye de dwumadi no ye de si enya me pa ochina anopa as usual sharp the ritual when it ya yebeshia Ghana muntie so we need 100.9 na yede Ghana muntie na yede abro yes sorry na ye koi die na DJ Bosco ebeteki over DJ Bosco ebeteki over na yede eye enwoma mu ode yede abro me dey the Jerry OSEI AGYEMAN Kokroko Francis Julie Wambebo Michidom na me dey sedan so de ama eye me am boss Dr. Faradex and executive producer me general manager Kennedy Asante OSEI and eye Pesia Boaje the darling boy ono no me supervisor woman dey bebo am yede dwumadi yede bra we need 100.9 omojishe bibia ede emame na mame ka hwe ekwa se Ghana na ye mpa adwuma ye unim se ye was saloon ye pe nipa ne no ma ye adwuma na onim se nipa ne te bi fra no ebisa na obetua meka sen na be se wonso oman no ye wom na se ye ka adwuma sem a na wonso ka bi waye etire awie nails utimi ya ne kama etire bo utimi ya ne kama utimi ya wigs kama pedicure manicure se no mani nyina makwa kosua otifie saloon na your friend Lucky Beauty Saloon. Lucky Beauty Saloon. One must say brand no money unya adwuma. On be mo baby ada no must say atua woka. Emfa woni baby a wo free ba. Enti wo nua bi na OSEI de we bi afre no. Je number na frɛ 0244 571 468. Frɛ na kɔ hɔ. Na wa akɔhwɛ ani so ade. Ye ma baby ada ne wa ye adwuma. 0244 571 468. Lucky Beauty Saloon. Omo hacho. Eho. Omo yesa no mani nyina bia omo pen crofo no ma ye adwuma. 0244 571 468. Frɛ. Na ofraze mag Jerry se memfrɛ. Namba me adwuma ye me metire bo. Kwana kwa kyerɛ sɛ oni metire ne bo. Kwana kwa demonstrate sɛ nails ni ade onim ni nyina ye. Afa na wo ye adwuma. Aso anya kakra da akye na so de bia wo de. Frɛ. Na wone Lucky Stores. A Lucky Beauty Saloon. When a Mama Lucy, when in income. Why? I'm always Juma Meko, Mampon. Yamiko Bibia. DJ Bosco be take you.